could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make.
Hello and welcome to the Smite Draft League. We've got Divine Division action, and as you can see, it's been remade. It's between the Wild Inferno and Dark Omen. I'm Anthony Malum. We're trying something new. I've got KingFsher and Cosmic Warrior with me. And guys, let's talk about these picks before we get into game. Unfortunately, we don't know what the bans were, but we can talk about what we see.
We definitely can. I mean, it's certainly some interesting picks. I mean, the Poseidon in particular to me stands out. I don't really think we've seen the Poseidon so far this season. Not really amid too many people are high on at the moment. But Cosmic, is there anything that stands out to you in these two team comps?
In these games, we've been seeing a lot of Thor bans, and we see he was one of the top picks. I'm surprised he was able to make it through. Hope we'll see Zoinked do some good things on that. But yeah, I agree with the Poseidon. Other than that, just have magical ADC on one side versus Rama. Gonna be a fun matchup. Rama being one of the few hunters who can really compete against these really high and magical ADCs like Chronos specifically, and we also have a Surtur in the game. Definitely gonna be a fun one to watch.
It definitely should be, and I know I, in particular, am really excited to see the Scylla as well. I was so concentrated on the Poseidon that I completely missed it, but for once in these games, it feels like we have some real objectives secure. I think it's one of the few positions that a lot of teams have kind of been lacking this season in the current meta, so it's really going to be nice. And the Chaos side team going to be able to be a lot more confident, a lot more competitive around those neutral game objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the interesting Mercury versus Thor matchup, I think it comes down to a lot. Can Thor be able to burst down Mercury quick enough off of his stun or off of his ult, or because if not, Mercury's gonna dash, crit you a couple times, and that's just gonna be it. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup on there. But we see both junglers with a little bit of global presence. Thor, obviously, Anvil of Dawn. Mercury sonic booming down an entire lane can be very, very impactful. So really looking to see how these junglers get active, how they're ganking the side lanes, and how that ultimately leads to the objective control.
I definitely agree with you guys. I am obsessed with these team comps. We all know that I'm a bit of a Rama stan, especially lately. And I love watching the Kronos v Rama matchup, but I think you guys have really hit the nail on the head for everybody. And we've got the picks in front of us, so let's stop waiting. We'll be right back with game number 1 between Wild Inferno and Dark Omen.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken.
We've got 3 casters, myself, Anthony Malum, Cosmic Warrior, and KingFsher. We've got an exciting game between 2 Divine Division teams. Let's do it!
Yeah, and I think we were talking off camera about this, but we saw a recent trade in this. I mean, Wild Inferno, I believe both Frostech and almondbutter came new to this team this week. So looking at that front line, it's going to be really interesting to see how they respond around it. Support and solo, 2 picks that have to play really, really close together. And these players, I think, came from the same team, so there should already be some chemistry. But still, we haven't seen these backliners with this particular mix yet.
Yeah, changing up your entire front line can definitely be a big difference maker. Hopefully it works out for Wild Inferno here. You know, it's like these early games, it's kind of like when you want to get it done, you know. They're like getting the first feel for things aren't working out. You got time to adjust, and you just get sort of used to them before any important games happen. And these early season matches are definitely the time to make changes.
It really is, and I think especially the fact that they already have some chemistry, like you said, it's hard to play with new people, but the fact that it's not just one new support or one new solo, definitely looking towards these 2 to have some chemistry together.
We got Zoinked looking over in the duo lane, maybe looking for an early gank, and Spence is not quite over there yet. Rama dashes in, LuneyToons falling down low, but actually Wild Inferno is taking the damage. Shell comes out, LuneyToons now falling really low. Thirst Blood for Wild Inferno, and they want more. Almondbutter falling down low, dodges the Glacial Strike. Spence Spark does clean up Almondbutter, but not before a double kill comes out for, hey, 901. Can they even get a third for the Rama? Voulg above half health, walking away ever so slowly, and Zoinked is hard committed. Double tap comes out, but just not enough space, and that's 2 kills early on for the Rama.
It is 2 kills really early. Not quite used to seeing this level of aggression 2 minutes in. I mean, I think we talked about it in an earlier set. I believe it was Immortal, but just not a ton of kills between the 2 teams. It was really the first time we'd seen it all season, so nice to get back to normal, see a lot of kills early, and this one might be a 4th coming up.
LuneyToons walked over, got the shield buff steal, is now caught between 3 members, and it's not a 3rd kill for the Rama, but a kill for the Thor, piloted by Zoinked, and LuneyToons trying to make something happen for Dark Omen there, and gets caught out. Tough break for the Kronos.
And that was exactly the kind of trade, if any, you're going to make if you're a Wild Inferno. Only their support died, and they killed 2 of the carries. They killed the jungler and the ADC, and that wasn't even including the nice little extra bonus that they got when LuneyToons unfortunately met his demise trying to get that shield buff.
Definitely good to see, and I mean, the Thorwall in particular, Zoink, just love to see that little microtech. Oh, that's unfortunate. They lose the red buff. That's going to be lost XP, lost time. I don't know if Wild Inferno are going to recover from that one.
Probably never going to financially recover from that one, and that was weird. That red buff was just chilling by that rock. Bro was not concerned with getting back, but just let his little babies...
yeah, custody agreement gone wrong.
Yeah, still getting settled in the courts.
Definitely not what you'd like to see so far this Smite game. But now looking around the map, it's 3 minutes in, and I love seeing this. There's a lot of gods that have already ticked over to level 5. I mean, it can be really easy to fall off, and I think especially in these games around the 15-20 minute mark, where people start team fighting, start focusing less on XP, is where players really start to get behind. So having these players have this little level buffer, I think, is going to translate great into the mid game. I mean, level 6 Poseidon at 3.5 minutes, it doesn't get much scarier than that.
Yeah, for sure, and especially given the power of these jungler ultimates. Hold on.
2-man stun there, 2-man freeze. Maybe just delaying time for HackAustin to show up. Dash in, Kraken comes out on Voulg. Gonna fall down, it's a matter of when. Astral Barrage for the secure. Killing spree for Hey 901 before the police could even get there. Dark Omen might still commit to this gank. Neptune and Spence are both around the corner, and Wild Inferno is in full retreat, but they just cannot close the gap, and Spence needs to farm. So Dark Omen has to back away, despite maybe having a good opportunity with the level 7 Scylla.
Level 7 Scylla does a lot of damage for sure. You gotta think Dark Omen are kind of hungry to get another kill after going down 9-1 already. Oh, sorry, 4-1. I think I got tripped up by the Rama's username there.
Yeah,
99-1.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine that stat line? That'd be unreal.
and the one great thing about Poseidon is, just how rotatable he is. One of my favorite pictures for that reason. You go to one of the side lanes, just drop a Kraken, almost a guaranteed kill. And that's exactly what we saw. And as soon as he's ticking over level 5, level 6, that is when you want to get active. And speaking of getting active, Hack 901.
One more basic would have done it, but could not find it. Now might be caught out. Zoinked on the rotation, hits Looney, has rewind available, and everybody's coming over for the party. Hammer of Anvil in response. LuneyToons trying to juke it out, is successful. Uses the beads anyway, got a little scared of almondbutter there. Should be plenty safe, but that is beads expended when it did not need to be, but also 2 ultimates down, so trading a lot for a little.
Definitely are there. Now they're going to get the gold buff as well. Oh, and the support picks it up. I think Anthony was talking about this the other day. Hating support's taking the gold buff from the ADC. Definitely got to echo that sentiment, and Rom might need it here if Dark Omen look to get aggressive again. Does have beads, but Mercury has that ult, and I think when Merc does take over to level 5, doesn't have the crit online, but that's when he really starts to throw himself around the map, get involved, as you see, charging the Sonic Boom here. Barama already left, not going to find much value out of that.
Yeah, not quite. It's been an interesting matchup here.
It's enough for a solo kill. Gear Chief takes out Frostech. Didn't even let you speak, Cosmic. He wanted that kill so bad on the Mulan. And it's a 1-up for the Surtur. We haven't seen a lot of Surtur, but made it through and now has a kill. So scary for Wild Inferno.
Yeah, Surtur is an interesting state right now. He's an absolute lane bully. He has very solid clear and just great sustain with the 3, with the little dropping the little fragments and picking them up. His team fight impact can be a little bit limited, at least compared to his influence in the solo lane. But Zoinked not too happy about his friend dying. Oh my goodness.
HackAustin got a kill in the mid lane, and Surtur's got to use Ember Walk to get out of there. First time I've gotten to say the name of the coolest ultimate name in the game, in my opinion. And Gear Chief will be more than safe on the Surtur, despite everybody rotating over for a peek. Spence around the corner, so they shouldn't dive too far or even attempt the proxy. You've got Voulg on the rotation too. Dash in from the Rama, dash away from Zoinked. Rama really wanting the shield buff, getting it away from the Chronos. And does succeed in that. LuneyToons with the rewind, gonna take the 1v1. Beads used on the stun. There's the cripple, and Astral Barrage will secure the solo kill for Hey 901.
Love seeing that from 901. I mean, Rama, one of those gods you kind of think about as not very aggressive, but certainly has kill potential. Spence charging it up again. I don't know if I would go in there. Had some good scouting ground games on Thanatos. Oh, but he's going in anyway on the Merc. Can he do anything?
Going for it. Spin him into the circle. Made you look. Hey, still healthy. Doing damage back. Oh, Spence overplayed his hand on this one. It's a rampage for the Rama.
That's unfortunate to see. I mean, it was an ambitious gank. I always do like seeing that out of junglers, knowing they have confidence. Maybe a little bit of a misguided one, but still nice to see that the Mercury not shying away from that Rama. Wow, really low in the mid lane is still going to be able to get away. Proxy ultimate, and will survive just fine under the tier 2 tower.
I get it. The Rama's alone. You know that his beats are down because LuneyToons was able to get it. But I mean, we're still 2 levels down on him. It was a 1v1, and he had Aussie. Like, he had a full Aussie. You're just not winning that ever, unfortunately. Here's some aggression. Voulg in.
Wall comes out, which separated Spence away from them. That's going to matter because now neither of them took any poke. The fight will simmer out a bit. Not so much in the soul lane, but, we've all seen soul lane. They're going to box out, throw on Netflix, and have themselves a nice night. The bigger fight is in the mid lane as Solar Swing down onto Voulg, but HackAustin had no interest. No Kraken, no interest. Duo lane, LuneyToons falling low. gank in solo lane. There's action everywhere. Emberwalk comes down on the Frostech, and Spence is here for the secure and the kill. Anvil of Dawn onto LuneyToons, who had the stun up. Can he get the rewind off? No, he can't. Rama has another kill. 6 kills at 9 minutes for the Rama.
And Hey 901 is playing lights out this set. Like you said, 6 kills, 9 minutes in with Rama, playing beautifully, and now I love seeing this from Wild Inferno. It's like they could read my mind, going straight for the objective, gonna generate themselves some gold and get a nice little lead. They've been doing a really good job in the duo lane getting ahead. Love seeing them capitalize off of it, and Dark Omen don't even have time to step up.
Time for a Kraken, though. HackAustin just erased NeptuneSpartan off the map. Could even do a decent bit to this tier 1 tower, but here's a wall and a Ymir, and you're going to run into a Mercury going this way. Level 10, level 12, but is charging up Sonic Boom. Zoinked with a very Megamind wall to create some space for HackAustin to get away.
You know, we've just been seeing action all across the map, and, you know, it really has been all about this Rama 6-0. But the thing about that is, you know, now he's got a big target on his head. He's going to have a great bounty value, and, you know, with the way bounties have been changed recently, they're going to get a lot if they're able to kill him, but that's only if they're able to kill him. Sonic Boom off the mark.
And now it is a 1v2 for the time being. Almondbutter here to try to make a play happen. Emberwalk going to go on Frostech again, changes his mind and goes back and plays it safe. Frostech had gotten too far away. So it kind of turns into a nothing burger, but the opportunities were definitely there. Probably got to look at Spence Spark just being a bit behind in terms of farm. And just like you guys said, LuneyToons and Voulg have been hanging out in duo lane for a minute together now, so they do not want Hey doing anything. Pyromancer getting pulled. NeptuneSpartan around the corner. Going to go with I'm a Monster. Look for the steal, but they pulled it out of I'm a Monster, and they get the Pyromancer. Well done by Wild Inferno.
Well done indeed. Wild Inferno putting on an absolute clinic in terms of playing the map well. They have a 5,000 gold lead 11 minutes in. That is sizable. Good stone onto the Scylla Crack and follow up. Completely taken off the map by Neptune himself.
Wasn't close, guys. That was crazy. I was sitting there looking at it. I couldn't even react. That sucks. That's why I don't play mid.
Yeah, HackAustin has just been on point with these Krakens. To fair, hard to be off point. Oh my god! Hello, whole team's there. None of them needed. It's Frostech shuts him down. Shuts Gear Chief down himself.
Really good kill there. And now, I mean, Dark Omen are approaching a really dangerous spot in this game, where they're not necessarily playing bad, but Wild Inferno, they're just playing great absolutely everywhere right now. It's starting to get to the point where it turns into a little bit more of a snowball than anything. Merkel is going to land, so do the crits. Both relics out of Poseidon. Is HackAustin going to survive? No, he will not. Spence Spark finds one back.
Gotta respect the Mercury damage, no matter the level lead. Almondbutter and Zoinked trying to make a play in mid off of it, but nothing was quite available. Now we got another 1v1 that LuneyToons cannot take. There's a dash in from Hey. Might kill him before the rewind comes off. He does! Unstoppable Rama over there in the duo lane. In 6 minutes, this Rama is going to create pure havoc for Dark Omen.
Definitely is. I mean, already has 2 stacks on the Rage, and he went into the Wind Demon. I feel like I've talked about this a lot with ADC builds, and normally like to see the Executioners into the Kinsai, into the Deathbringer, but given that they're this far ahead, I think getting a little bit of that extra crit chance is almost worth it. I mean, Voulg certainly isn't going to have Spectral online yet, neither is Gear Chief with building into that Contagion. It's a smart move. Won't be my favorite late game, but honestly, I don't see this game getting to the point where it'll be a problem.
You know, I would agree. Maybe if like Wind Demon was an item that existed. Unfortunately, it isn't. He built Demon Blade.
Oh, dang it!
Yeah, ratio. But your point still stands. It's just
they sound
how to
similar.
let you know. No, they don't. They literally don't.
What? They both have demon in the name.
Okay, that's the one word. That's the only part.
This is why we added 3-person cast, just so Cosmic and Ratio KingFsher live on air.
Well, hold up. We're going to need to get a judge from Anthony. Yeah, they have one word different, but that's half the word. Half the word's the same.
Yeah, I mean, half the word's different.
Half the word is... half of it is different, and there's a new picture for Demon Blade, which does not help your case.
It's the same color.
And Voulg up into the sky. Spark already
red.
noticeably low. Slams down on top. And Zoink cleans up the Mercury. Landfall brings in 3, 2. The Poseidon, who's got the Whirlpool. And this is not looking great for Dark Omen. They're falling low quickly. Astral Barrage. He wants it. Neptune ages a little bit early. Too early. 8 kills for the Rama. Double kill for HackAustin. And it's an Oni Fury for Wild Inferno.
And an Oswald-esque landfall from the Maui, not quite into the fountain, but into the jaws of death nonetheless. Oni Fury picked up, and now they seem to be backing up a bit. Definitely a smart call. They're all pretty low on HP. Would love to see them start pushing those towers with the Oni waves, though. The normal ones just came out. They have about 5 seconds to wave spawns. I would love to see them group up down mid. We're trying to get Gear Chief down, though.
I'm surprised they're boxing this much at this point in the game.
Here comes Spencer, though. Coming around. Frostech sees him, though. Rocked right over that ward.
No
backing
Sonic
up.
Boom available here for Spence, but just looking to maybe get some poke. Made you look. Get a hit, but not for much because solo lane exists this season.
You know, I gotta say, I will never get tired of watching Maui. You know, people complain, oh, he's too broken. No, I'm tired of seeing him this much. Seeing landfalls like that so often, it's just really, really entertaining. I mean, seeing them getting launched up so high, right into a really, really strong Poseidon, just completely owning them, I mean, it never gets old for me.
It's definitely hard to. I mean, it's one of the best combinations we've seen in this game. Kind of crazy that it is an interaction. But now, Wild Inferno, they've not necessarily stalled out a little bit, but where do you
going,
go?
Voulg?
Apparently
Where you
straight toward
going?
Ymir.
Voulg grin into
Not that way.
everybody. And Voulg doesn't know where to go. He's just a Ymir. He doesn't have a dash. Somebody give Ymir some speed. Turns around with the Frost Breath, but still falling low. Double tap doesn't clean it up, but Landfall breaks in 3 times 2. And now everybody's dropping low in Dark Omen again. I'm a monster finds nobody. Hey cleans up Gear Chief. Spence Sonic boomed in, but not doing much. And they're grouped up for the Astral Barrage. Neptune almost died to that alone. Zoinked had to get out of there and play it safe down very low. We have a Frostech rotation out as well. Dark Omen does manage to get away with 4 people, but not after being absolutely schooled in that team fight. And Frostech may not even be done. Pulls in LuneyToons and is doing numbers, but gets stunned out. And Rewind comes out from LuneyToons, so that's a big, small but big W for Wild Inferno having the Rewind down.
You know, there was a staff game that was played where Chiron got mad at me because I called his solo lane damage Mickey damage. But I mean, look at the top of the charts right now. We have a 9-0 Rama, a 5-1 Poseidon, and the top 2 highest damage are the solo laners. All right, give me a break.
That might be the best thing I've seen all day. I love seeing solo laners with the top damage, but yeah, I think to your point, not making too much of an impact to the game at the moment. And at this stage, there's already one thing in my mind. If we look to game 2, you have to ban the Maui, because he does this. Voulg is just gonna die here. There's nothing he can do.
Nothing at all, and Frostech gets the kill on to Voulg. Zoinked hanging out in the duo lane, knowing Rewind is down and pressuring out LuneyToons, so no farm for the Chronos, and might even die alongside it. Double tap
God.
half healths LuneyToons, and Spence has to walk over just to ensure safety of LuneyToons. Meanwhile, Rama's in solo lane, speedrunning to level 20.
I am doing a pretty dang good job of it. Now with 9 kills, they're built the dominance. They're gonna skip Aussie and Kins. Might not need it. LuneyToons dropping really low. Finds a stun though.
Ooh.
Great
Sonic
beats
Boom
from
off the mark, and the whole time they've been doing Fire Giant, so Zoinked dies, but at what cost for Dark Omen as they've lost the Fire Giant? Rama was in speed running level 20. He was helping his team speed run for the Fire Giant. Landfall and the Gear Chief who was already into Emberwall, cracking off the mark. So Dark Omen survives, but the victory here is clear. Wild Inferno takes the Fire Giant with negative contest from Dark Omen.
They really do, and now we see one back on the way as Maui gets out a dodge there. And they're still going to have some time on this Fire Giant push, but it's 18.5 minutes in. The lead is massive. This is kind of the point in the game where you wonder how much longer can Dark Omen hold out. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. 11,000, gold down, 18 minutes in. There's not a whole ton this KL side can do, but really, really hope that they hit level 20 soon.
18 minutes in, LuneyToons finally got the Bastion down. Huge. He's finally on a line. This is exactly where Dark Omen wants them. Hold that thought. Is oh, they're not too happy about their Bastions going down.
Yeah, Hay was a big fan of those Bastions and a bigger fan of Dark Omen's jungle, but they are playing it a bit safe here. Going to group up and look for the Primal Fury. And Dark Omen, I don't think they even bother contesting the Primal Fury. It's not worth it. You're just going to get wiped. Spence is peeking over, and Frostech's around the corner. This is risky for no reason. Primal Fury drops, and Wild Inferno turns to see if anybody decided to stay for the fight. Wisely, nobody did.
Definitely smart. I mean, I would understand stepping up for that one, trying to get it. If it's an Oni, definitely strong. Maybe even the normal Gold Fury with that defense buff, but Primal Fury, there's just no need to die over that. And I'm glad Dark Omen saw that. I think a lot of teams, when they're behind, can really get in that mindset of we need to make something big happen, but it definitely was not the time or place. So I like seeing Dark Omen let that one go.
Yeah, absolutely. Wild Inferno, very, very strong right now. Just taking down these tier 2s one by one. Yeah, Wild Inferno taking down these tier 2s one by one. Dark Omen not quite able to step up at all. That being said, they are up to this mid lane tier 2. Gear Chief taking the lead, but just the level difference is so massive. It's going to be a hard defense here if they want anything. Beautiful stun, though. Zoinked gets low. See ya.
NeptuneSpartan gets credit for the kill. Up into the air. Landfall brings in 2 this time. You cannot take almondbutter out of the fight. And Wild Inferno might be down a member, but they're not down in damage. Hay at the front is getting poked out. You got to keep the Rama alive. I'm a monster. Hits HackAustin, but doesn't pick up the kill. Frostech is in really deep enough to cause the shell to come out, but does have Divine Mastery to get away. So Wild Inferno just had too much damage and also too much peel for Dark Omen to make anything out of killing Zoinked, and they don't get anything off of winning that fight.
They don't indeed really don't love to see that one. But now, both teams are kind of stepping back a little bit. There's not too much time left on this Fire Giant. There's about a minute. So Cosmic, if you're Wild Inferno, do you try and kind of force one last push here? Or do you just take these few seconds to relax a little bit, get your mentals, and kind of set up to take this next Fire Giant?
Well, I think Dark Omen actually showed that they do have a little bit of life left in them with that defense. I think that was a really good engage by Voulg, picking off Zoinked immediately, getting that Fire
Dark Omen stole the Fire Giant.
Exactly.
Or the Pyromancer. It was I think it was the throw minion.
No way.
From Surtur.
Way.
I don't know. Because Surtur doesn't have any other abilities that can go that far.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it would have been Giant's Grasp that got the steal. I'm sorry, I never thought I'd see that one.
How does that not get body today? I mean, you gotta think somebody's on that.
He's just better. He's just better, dude.
Yeah, that was a mental diff there for Dark Omen, I think.
I mean, to be fair, in Wild Inferno's case, I don't really know if they need a Runic Bomb to push these structures, but on the other hand, they might need a Mulan dropping really low in this fight, but here comes the rest of the team. Dark Omen need to get out of here.
Look at the damage coming out from the Rama. Landfall into the Kraken! We've got a Season 2 wombo combo leading to a double kill from HackAustin. Hey, didn't even need to press buttons there or hold left click. He had his Poseidon by his side. And now Wild Inferno's got 3 members down and Fire Giant's free yet again.
Definitely not the thing you want to see if you're Dark Omen. I mean, I think we talked about it this game. The absolute combo between the Kraken and the Maui, it's just too much. I mean, especially when you're this far behind in this game, 12,023 minutes, there's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter if you beads, you're going to get ran down, hit by some other CC. It's a tough spot for Dark Omen, and I don't say this often, but I don't know if it's one that they can come back from.
And, you know, it's a combo that, you know, just makes sense. Maui's pulling up the big island, knocking them off of it, and then, you know, a big giant sea monster just eats them right up. So, definitely can't say I'm too surprised by that. It's such a great combo. But, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to save the Kraken for the objective secure if you just kill all of them with it. There's no one really to contest. And so there's just not something they need to worry about, and they're just being absolutely clinical with these ultimates. Very, very well used in every fight.
Definitely some words of wisdom there. You don't need to play defense if there's nobody to defend against. Now they're going to move on to the Fury. I think that is an Oni Fury as well, so Wild Inferno, they can do no wrong right now. Dark Omen can't even step up to contest that. I know we talked with the Primal about maybe wanting to defend the Oni Furies, but there's just no way.
Yeah, not at this stage. 5 members with Fire Giant. Just insane level and gold lead would be very, very hard for Dark Omen to do anything. Maybe go for a cheeky little minion throw steal, but other than that, you're just asking for a death sentence there and just a surefire way to have them run down your Titan.
You really are, and now we're gonna see Wild Inferno looking towards mid. Definitely gonna want to do something here with this Fire Giant.
So I want to ask you guys, I mean, not to really sell Dark Omen too short. I mean, defenses are certainly possible. They got a good team for it. But if you're Dark Omen going into game 2, what are you taking off the board? Because Rama handled the early game and really made Wild Inferno just have a clear opening, taking Kronos out of it until just now. But obviously the Maui Poseidon's been the problem. What do you ban?
In my mind, for my money, it has to be the Maui, because even if HackAustin isn't on something like the Poseidon, no matter what god they have, it's a mage. They are going to hit you for so much damage with that landfall that it won't even matter. Now the Scylla barely even scratches the Mulan, maybe a couple hundred HP. Scylla doesn't feel great from behind. Now the
They're
Phoenix
going
Siege
for
starts.
it. They pop Frenzy, and Wild Inferno walks into the Phoenix, and it's already gone. And there comes a landfall. Only brings in Voulg this time, but HackAustin heard the cue. Kraken comes out and hits LuneyToons. Zoinked gonna land down and find nobody home. Astral Barrage comes out. Dark Omen's just trying to find a place to survive for the time being. Wild Inferno's walking at the mid Phoenix. Although Rama's not there, so the damage is not there yet on the Phoenix. Big double tap with the wall, and Frostech gets credit for the kill. Dark Omen down to 3 members as they try to defend, and mid Phoenix falls as well, and Wild Inferno is going to look to go into the throne room. They take out Gear Chief. LuneyToons falling down low, has to go back to the fountain, and Wild Inferno's playing it smart. They want the Titan. They're not wasting any time. Spence and Looney got to find an opening. They do have their support up now, but Titan's already down to half health. Zoinked has to walk away, and Wild Inferno resets. They're going to look for a pick maybe here. They're going to head over to the right side of the map. Dark Omen is still in an awkward spot. They aren't out of this yet. They need 15 seconds. Spence gets caught out and takes some good damage, but not as much as Zoinked took. Phoenix still up. Hay gets blocked off by the Ymir wall and can't quite get in there. Frostech falling low, but Voulg is now vulnerable to the Rama. And HackAustin got the other guy, and guess what, Dark Omen? You got 2 members left. Gear Chief is just now up, and Wild Inferno's got all the damage in the world. Double kill for Hay. Almondbutter cleans up Spence. Spark, I'm a monster, hits but doesn't get the kill. HackAustin does, and that's gonna be game. Wild Inferno takes it home. We'll be right back on the desk to try to figure out what Dark Omen can do.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. lost in Brooklyn.
Wild Inferno seems like they did everything right that game, and Dark Omen just seemed like they, even if they, in the best multiverse reality, they could not find an opening back in. We heard Fisher's response. Cosmic, if you're Dark Omen going into game 2, what are you banning? Is it the Maui? Are you looking at the Poseidon? Or are you looking at the Rom? Or maybe even the Thor?
I've kind of always preached that, it's not necessarily about one specific god, one god performing exceptionally well, not necessarily due to the god. That being said, I think I am inclined to agree with Fisher that the Maui, just the setups were absolutely so insane, made it very, very easy for his carries to pump out that damage. And I think a lot of the issues with the Rama had a little bit more to do with perhaps some poor early game ganks, giving him an early lead, a bit of a miscued itemization by LuneyToons. Felt like he focused a little bit too much on attack speed, where on Kronos you really want to go for more high burst with big polyautos, as opposed to building the Bancrofts that gives the attack speed. So I definitely think, if anything, it's the Maui, but I think there's just improvements all around that could help deal with some of these other big issues, like the 11-0 Rama.
It definitely is, and I think we talked about all through this game. As big of a problem that the Maui was, realistically, every single god on that team was a problem, and I don't often kind of say this, but this is a game too where I would really look towards target bans over meta bans. I know Comfort is normally something that's taken out, but you can't allow this again because the result is not going to get any better.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I'm excited to see how these guys decide to come back from this, whether or not they decide to ban the Maui, decide to ban the Rama. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rama. I mean, 11-0 is nothing to scoff at, but I think there's just improvements that can be made all across the board that extend further than simple picks and bans.
I definitely agree with you guys. It's going to maybe even take some looking within for Dark Omen to see if maybe there's a different approach they need to take. Their team comp on paper should have been disgusting, but we see the reality was not the same as the fiction. So with that, we'll be right back with game number 2 between Wild Inferno and Dark Omen. We'll see you there.
When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes, I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place, used to think we're getting closer, now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it. Now you're gone.
And welcome back to game number 2. Game number 1 was an absolute clinic, very, very fun game, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this set, doing away these picks, and unfortunately no bans. It's just gonna be me and Fisher. How are you feeling, Fisher?
You know, I'm feeling a little bit better on first glance. There is another Maui, but it's on the side of Dark Omen this time, so not really too big of an issue there. I think definitely a smart move taking it away. And they did pick up the Mercury again. I'm not as sure how I feel about that one. Spark definitely a very capable jungler, showed a lot of confidence on the Mercury. That being said, I don't think it was exactly the most impactful pick on the board, but I'm definitely optimistic about what he can do with it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hebo is a pick I'm looking at here, especially. Hebo is absolutely devious. I mean, he can be insane. I play him in the mid lane, and I do insanely well. But I think he's even better in the jungle, which I believe is where he's going with this ESET pick, which is the other pick I wanted to talk about. I like HackAustin. He's playing the picks that not necessarily super meta anymore, but they're just gods with big ultimates, great objective secure, and just can really, really have a big impact on these team fights if they're able to get a big ultimate off and completely like control a team fight with it.
They definitely can, and as a former ESET main, definitely gotta advocate for that one. I mean, some pretty big CC, and on top of that, going into this landfall, if Iset is able to drop her ultimate right where Maui pulls him, you're not going to be able to get a kill onto those players, especially with something like a Huang that doesn't have quite as big a burst as a Poseidon. You're going to have to work him down a little bit, and if HackAustin can really be on point mechanically, going to give him a great opportunity to bail his teammates out.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I think is a bit of the elephant in the room, not Ganesha, but Hey 901 on this Rama. I mean, he got it back. Again, I was thinking, maybe it just needs to be a little bit more matchup dependent. We do see LuneyToons on Chiron. Glad to see him on a physical hunter as opposed to the Mage ADC. I feel like he will hopefully be a little bit more comfortable on this. Might not let him just run away with a game like we saw him do in game number 1.
Definitely shouldn't, but I think with all that being said, there's not much else to do besides get into game and see what happens, so we'll be right back with match number 2 between Dark Omen and Wild Inferno.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in a wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes, I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place, used to think we're getting close and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on.
Hello and welcome to game number 2. We've got Dark Omen and Wild Inferno still. We've got LuneyToons v Hey, which may be the matchup to watch. I'm Anthony Malum. I got Cosmic Warrior and KingFsher with me. Let's do it!
Definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams come out. I mean, Wild Inferno last game, they got the Rama back, which is insane, so definitely expecting Hey 901 to have another big performance. I mean, if you can get 6 kills in 10 minutes, laning against a Kronos, you can kind of do anything in the world, so it should definitely be another big performance. But across a map, a Hebo King Arthur, that's a lot of aggression and a lot of early game damage. I would absolutely love to see the solo and the jungler get even more involved than they were in game 1.
Yeah, and the King Arthur and Kokolin matchup is definitely an interesting one. As Final K would describe, Kokolin as just a budget King Arthur with the way his passive works, and I think it's going to be definitely a fun lane. Both using the Bluestone, both just cranking out the abilities, and yeah, they're getting right down to business. Both dropping down to about half HP, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see who wins this lane and just who has more impact overall in the game.
Definitely should be an interesting one. And I mean, Hebo already moving over to the left side of the map. Both junglers are, in fact. I don't know if I love early Hebo ganks. Certainly a powerful mage and a good jungler in their own right. That being said, the kill potential, in my mind, not exactly as big as something like a Mercury.
Yeah, a little bit more lockdown on the sort of the Mercury, Hebo knockup is great and all, but they can kind of get launched towards their tower, and then you're in for a bit, but here it comes.
Big group up here in the duo lane. The junglers were hanging out just a bit too long, and almondbutter is going to be the victim. Voulg gets credit for the kill on the Maui. SpenSpark has to back up, but got first blood for Dark Omen. And I got to echo your guys' sentiment. The junglers fighting for the shield buff is it's annoying to play ADC and see them rushing over there. Zoinked hanging around the side, really wants to go for the steal on the shield, but cannot get it thanks to Voulg diving in deep. Hey, gonna back up. I also want to mention that having played this Rama v Chiron matchup hundreds of times, Rama gets the better, like, in nearly every scenario. You gotta be picture perfect as Chiron to get anything done. Kind of like gotta be picture perfect with the Spirit Ball. NeptuneSpartan was picture perfect with Celestial Flight and gets away. And SpenSpark is now dueling with the Elephant for the Oracles, and now Zoinked is around the corner, but guess who's got no mana? It's the Hebo.
Got some great photographers here. A lot of picture-perfect moments, according to Anthony. But man, Neptune's not feeling healthy. HackAustin definitely putting in the hurt with them spirit balls on that E set.
Definitely is, and I do need to point out on this Yu Huang, it's a very different build than the E-set's going. I'd imagine HackAustin heading straight into the Book of Thoth, but on the flip side, I could be wildly off, but I think it's a Chronos Pendant first item from the Yu Huang, unless they build into a Karen's Coin. In my mind, though, Karen's Coin should not be the first item you're buying, definitely a second or third, so it's going to be a lot earlier cooldown reduction for this Yu Huang, and with such a good safety ability in that 3, gotta wonder if NeptuneSpartan is going to be able to play a little bit more aggressive despite the early power drawback.
Yeah, I mean, these are the two main builds that we see in mid lane. So we see the Sands of Time into the Book of Thoth, Tablet of Destinies, the one we've seen a lot. But ever since they buffed Chronos Pendant, we've seen the Conduit Gem into the Chronos Pendant as an option. Which one I like more? Generally, on most mages tend to prefer Sands of Time, just because that early cooldown rush is very, very good, and Book of Thoth and Tablet of Destiny is just so strong right now. But on certain mages, you can definitely get away with the Chronos Pendant. And, I'm really liking to see how they're playing up in this duel lane. Those look like Gearchief's getting a little bit better of the Frostech, pressuring him out, allowing him to go for the blue invade with not much punishment. But landfall, oof, wrong side of the tower, buddy.
Unlucky there for Voulg, and I think like you were saying with the Chronos Pendant, it's not a bad build, but I mean, by going Chronos, and we're gonna assume like an upgraded gem, you get around 200 power, but if you go Book of Thoth with Sands of Time, it's, I mean, easily upwards of 300, getting close to 400 most builds, depending on what you go with your other slots. It's going to be a massive power drawback late game. I think Dark Omen, they needed to do more early game, so it's going to be interesting to see how that folds in.
Zoinked with the rotation over the Soul Lane was not quite in time to catch Gearchief off guard. Hit level 5 and beelined it over there. Crushing Wave came out, but somehow Gearchief survived. So the Season 1 vet putting the knowledge to work and surviving another day. Goes back in, Frostech low, gets the ultimate off. Frostech gets away with the spin to win, and Gearchief played that smart, but just did not quite get the kill.
Did not indeed. Now Gearchief really, really low in lane, going to be able to back. Does have that tower teleport up. Oh no, stays for another wave. Probably smart. King Arthur just now on their way back in. And I think when we look around the map, solo laners for like, what was a week and a half, started building Golden Blade in that second item slot. Is that just completely gone now, do you think? Or do these solo laners in particular just not really need help with the extra clear?
I think there are a few solo laners, so you definitely want to build it on. Hercules immediately comes to mind just because it's wave clear. It's a little rougher, and he definitely benefits with the recent buff to his 3, increasing his attack speed. Sonic Boom comes out. HackAustin getting low.
And Spence ran into the elephant and cannot quite escape. Has to get out of there quick as everybody just dove right in, and he didn't quite have the backup from Dark Omen that Spence may have been expecting. So we left the Mercury in a bad spot, but does get away for now. We'll look to clean up farm. In the meantime, we'll run into Zoinked and the Elephant at the Oracles, and Zoinked scares away Spence with the damage from Water Spout, Water Cannon, and Voulg might pay the price, has the Solar swing away to the safety of the green buff, and they will get away with it despite playing it a little close to the chest there.
And I gotta say, it's a little bit of an odd change of pace from last game. When we look at Wild Inferno, it was a lot of early aggression, a lot of early kills, so I wouldn't really call it concerning, the fact that it's 0-1. But that being said, I definitely expected them to play this one a little bit more gung-ho. It certainly worked out for them last game. They might just be given time to Dark Omen to adjust. They're the ones that need to adjust as Zoinked falls in the mid lane. The Elephant, though, should get out just fine.
Oh, I thought for a second you were right. I thought almondbutter could walk away, but HackAustin showed up and kind of wanted to fight, and almondbutter, respectfully, as support, was ready to go crazy, but it does calm out. The main thing of excitement we saw was a shield buff invade from Spence, but did not turn into much. Voulg goes down on HackAustin, a lot of damage coming out, but Dueling Dragons is not up at the moment, so Almond and HackAustin can kind of throw abilities and buy time for the Hebo gank. In the meantime, Sonic Boom being charged up way at the back, but does not have view of the E-set and can't quite find it. That's the toughest thing for a Mercury, is a wall. 1v1 in the duo lane. Hey, trying to get the better of Looney again. Looney takes a questionable path just in range of Hey, and it's going to fall down. It's a solo kill for the Rama. Fight at Pyromancer breaks out, and almondbutter's down low and falls back to E-set and Hebo, who are now stuck in a bad spot, but Dueling Dragons does not do the damage that it maybe should have. Dharmic Pillars was enough to get them away for now, but they've got to fall back at a weird route. They got to get to the solo lane, which will bring them to King Arthur, who could get Voulg off of them. Landfall, luckily for Wild Inferno, is not up, and they do get away for the time being.
Man, Dark Omen chased far. Went all the way behind the tier 1 of the solo lane. I mean, they had low health bars. I can't really blame them, but maybe Spence gets punished. But Zoink actually still quite a low health bar. Yu Huang getting it even lower. Spence opting to just go for an invade on the speed buff.
Invade on the speed buff does feel pretty good. Oh, does not turn around on Zoinked.
I don't think he saw him.
I don't think so either. Even if he did see him, though, definitely like not getting aggressive there with the Elephant on the way. Rama 2. Mercury finds the dash. Should be out safe, I would think. Oh, the ultimate for Zoinked.
Is it a moose snip? It's not a moose snip. I love calling them moose snips because of the Canadian skin. If you don't play the Canadian skin for Chiron, I mean, it's a Canadian skin, or it's like the rave skin. But those are my two favorites. But yeah, the moose snip off the mark, and it was a close call. I agree. I don't think that Spence saw Zoinked there and could have probably killed Zoinked about 4 times. Hey, falling down low. Looney dashes in, but runs into the Dharmic Pillar. Has to use the beats early, and Hey wants it. Rama does have Astral Barrage, but LuneyToons is just not quite low enough and will get away. The Chiron gets to live another day.
I just want to point out, like, Looney hit the first part of his Centaurus, but he didn't have his 2 up. Hold on, because Hey dashes in.
Goes back into the knockback into the tower. Almondbutter's around a corner. Astral Barrage needs to hit it for the kill and does not find it. And Voulg is around the corner, but Voulg got silenced. Landfall doesn't find the kill. Almondbutter, one of the most impressive supports that we have in Divine, showing us why NeptuneSpartan with the 1v2 does clear the kill, but Zoinked gets it back on a NeptuneSpartan. Now Zoinked heading over the duo lane, doesn't need to, as Hey is back safely. Frostech falling down low, quick and solo. Gear Chief could get it, but's got to dive under tower and does not want to chase it that far. It's a surviving day for Frostech. Gets away from everything, it seems. Dark Omen gonna go for the invade. Sonic Boom being charged up. Dashes in. Sonic Boom does not hit, just a bit too short there. But Zoinked will fall regardless, just a matter of when. Hay's here looking for some revenge. Dashes in aggressive onto 3. And you know why? Because almondbutter's here, baby! Dharmic Pillars come out. Spirit Bomb around the corner. Spence falling low. HackAustin cleans up Spence. This is why Hey took the 1v3. Now Voulg is caught alone with 3 and gonna fall down. Just a matter of who gets the last base again. Who's it gonna be? It's Hey. 2 kills for the Rama. 2 stacks on Rage. 2 deaths for Dark Omen.
And there is the textbook aggression we kind of expected out of Wild Inferno this time. Coming out a little bit later in the game than we would have thought, and definitely not on their own side of the jungle. But that being said, do get a couple kills under their belt, still a few hundred gold behind. And a much more even map state when we look across the board. And I think when we think back to last game, they were looking so good on those objectives, on the pushes, on just about everything. I'd be really interested to see if that changes at all this game, and if last game it was just because they were ahead that they were that confident. I really hope that's not the case, so I'd like to see them kind of apply that same game style as Gear Chief now in trouble, gets knocked up, should get back to the tower okay?
Crushing Wave was not quite close enough, and Gear Chief still alive and survives. The basics didn't quite hit, and now Gear Chief's playing a pretty aggressive now that he's in rage form, and Zoinked goes under the tower, does find the kill, and will not fall down to the tower. NeptuneSpartan has to use Celestial Flight to get away. Rama's getting ganked in dual lane. Spence going behind. Voulg in front. Sonic Boom off the mark. Will the snipes get him? No. Will Landfall get him? No! Everybody wants Hay, but nobody wants to protect Hay more than almondbutter, who's on the way. And if this game's taught us anything, you see almondbutter, you turn and you walk away. Spirit Bomb out of nowhere cleans up NeptuneSpartan. We got highlight reels across the map, boys. Dash in from Hay. Almondbutter's all Hay needed. Astral Barrage, 1 off the mark, 2 hits. He walks into the Dark Pillars and falls down. Uneventful end, but regardless, Hay is on a killing spree, and this is why they maybe should have considered banning the Rama.
Yeah, Dark Omen kind of just dropped 3 ults and didn't really kill Hay 9, and then he just comes around with the help of Almond Butter, quickly shuts down LuneyToons. Not what you want to see. Oh my dude, I thought for a second Voulg had taken that.
It was close, but now Voulg is alone with 3 members of Wild Inferno, and they may want blood for even attempting it. The long-range bomb hits. Oh no! We've got a Gold Fury kill, and Almond Butter can't get any kills, but can certainly die to objectives. Almond Butter falls down to Gold Fury. Rama had to let it go. Frostech being aggressed on by Gear Chief, who wants to dive in deep, but knows there will be punishments aplenty. And now Dark Omen may have set themselves up for a pretty easy Gold Fury.
Definitely have, and it is just still the base Gold Fury, so kind of want one of those variants. But that being said, even when you're getting this, you're down about 2,000 gold. If they can confirm this, it'd be really nice, but Hey901 is here, doesn't have the ultimate quite yet. HackAustin still on the way, it's up for grabs, so can Hey901 fall the autos? Dashes away, Gold Fury does fall to Dark Omen.
What's going to happen after will be the big question. Almond Butter dropped Dharmic Pillars. Gear Chief was the only one caught out. Big damage falling down on a Wild Inferno, but NeptuneSpartan is getting the worst of the damage from Wild Inferno. Zoinked cleans up the kill on to the Yu Huang. And Dark Omen's a bit split, so may have to look to retreat, but Spence and Looney almost got caught out by Frostech. Hay could look to dash this. We've seen it plenty of times. That tier 1 tower is pretty low and has everybody here, but they're going to turn and maybe look to take the more traditional route into the tower. Still should look to take it regardless. HackAustin leads the way. Bastions are still up, though, and if I'm Hay, I'm saying, hey, guys, can I get my Bastions before we get the tower?
Absolutely cannot.
Don't want to miss out on that gold there.
We got a split call from the casters and a split call from the players.
Oh my
who
god,
get
where
brought
did
in by Landfall. Teleport coming in. Astral Barrage cleans up LuneyToons, who was just trotting around in the back. Dark Omen trying to make something happen, but they got 4 people in duo lane, and they got 2 of their own members in mid, but Wild Inferno doesn't want to take the fight. Despite the tower being low and Hay being full health, they just have no interest. They're going to back up and look to group up elsewhere.
They are, and now Dark Omen, after they do go on the back foot from that one, they keep their tier 1 towers, so it's pretty nice. But now Wild Inferno, if they can find a pick on a Gear Chief here, it'd really open up the map. But instead, Voulg standing close by, not going to allow that to happen on their watch. And ooh, while we have a moment, let's talk about the builds. It's what we always like to do. It's an interesting one from Almond Butter. I don't know if I necessarily hate it, but I don't think I've seen one similar to it this season.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of relic daggers being bought. Maybe he just wants to get off that shell, which he upgraded a little bit early. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. We've seen, SPL players do it. Aurora comes to mind. He loves Relic Dagger, but he tends to build that with the Sunder. Just get tons of damage off Spence. Caught out deep here. Mercury doing what he
Spence
does
is
best
taking the
and
damage.
running.
You mentioned Cosmic has the Sonic Boom available, so I I doubt Zoink chases all the way, but I don't know. There's a lot of walls in the jungle. That's kind of the nerf for Mercury, as we talked about before. Does look like Spence will be safe for now.
Definitely is going to be safe for now. Love to see that from the Merc, and doesn't have to use any relics, but now Zoink coming around the back. Wild Inferno are looking for one, dropping low. Yuhuang does get up into the sky, though. Might not live long. Dharmic Pillar's out.
Oh! Crushing Wave cleans it up with the help of the Dharmic Pillars. Now Voulg is caught out, and Voulg is taking damage. Landfall on himself into the Solar Swing to get away. Zoink does get the double kill, but impressive from Voulg. Can everybody play Maui but me? That's how I feel at the moment. We did see Hay try to get a purple buff invade. It did not go the way of Hay. He's going to dash in and take the fight. Never seen that one before. Knocked back into the tower, falling low. Astral Barrage comes up. He avoids the snipe. On landing, he's got a solo kill. Spence
so
Sonic
sad.
Boom off the mark. He dashes. Made you look hits before the Aussie could proc. Back to solo lane. Gear Chief barely survives, and Zoinked is out of mana. Zoinked falls down to Gear Chief, who goes back in for the defense, has a full health tower, and they do not have the damage to take it, and now has backup. So Wild Inferno's got to get out of there, and they got to get out of there quickly.
Definitely do want to back out of that one, but now Wild Inferno are retreating. Dark Omen, they're going to be following him. Dharmic Pillar should dissuade it. Yeah, if I was Dark Omen, I don't know if I would chase this one. I don't know if there's exactly much danger to doing so. But honestly, it's just a waste of time when you could be getting Pyromancer, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Oni Fury's coming up too. I like this call. If they get Runic Bomb, it just adds a lot of security to your team, which going against an ESET, you really need against a structure.
For sure. I mean, East is just so much damage, circle protection, arguably the best secure ultimate in the game. You can drop it down early, fully charge the thing up, and it's just going to do tons and tons of damage to Fire Giant, Gold Fury, whatever you need it on. Frostech getting aggressive over here. Caught between two. Zoink isn't far behind.
Spence dashed through and did not find a home, and now Spence gets brought up into the air. NeptuneSpartan around the corner, crushing wave, cleans up Spence Spark. Frostech trying to lead the way into Gear Chief, but Hay couldn't find an opening. Lucky for Dark Omen. Now Voulg may be the one caught out, but has Solar Swing, can get away plenty easy. Wild Inferno will take advantage of this moment. They're going to pull the Oni Fury. Dark Omen want to contest, but their options are low. They've got Landfall and they've got LuneyToons. They're setting up for it. Here comes the snipes. Wild Inferno does get the Oni Fury. Landfall brought in two, but that may not be the two you're looking for, because you got the dynamic duo on your tail now if you're Voulg. Does get away. NeptuneSpartan was around the side. Zoinked now waiting for LuneyToons. You can clean up that Bastion while you're there and help out your ADC. Zoink takes some poke and cleans up the Bastion. So big W for Wild Inferno. And I don't think the tower is making it past this one. Dash in from Hay. LuneyToons is gone. Tower will fall next. Voulg and Gear Chief are both around, but they've got to be careful with how they play this. Sonic Boom comes in off the mark. Zoink's still alive. Silence on the Mercury. Is enough for Hay. They get a double kill. Zoink's falling down low to Gear Chief, but Gear Chief now caught in between those three. Gear Chief falling low. Gear Chief stuck. Astral Barrage comes out. Does not have the damage for Gear Chief quite yet, but we know Hay's dashing in. New target on the chopping block is Voulg, and Voulg has taken numbers, and Hay hasn't missed yet. Killing spree for the ROM. NeptuneSpartan gets caught out, has to use beads and Aegis, but dies regardless. It's a delayed Quadra, and HackAustin makes it the near deicide.
And that is a great play from Wild Inferno. LuneyToons by themselves, definitely not going to be able to defend against this one. Easy tier 2. Honestly, if I'm Wild Inferno here, I think smart not to go for the Phoenix, but I would really like to see them get this tier 2 in mid, or maybe even in right. They're kind of spreading out a little bit, though. I don't know if that's a call. It's still a 3-on-3 for a few seconds, and they definitely have the advantage. And now LuneyToons is going to be the target, able to get out of there, but the tower still stands for Dark Omen.
Yeah, dude, one Spirit Ball is just doing half of these squishes HP. You said does so much damage, it's insane. Only level 16, just can only do more and more damage from there. And now they're finally deciding go for the gold or Fire Giant, excuse me. And it seemed like up until just a few minutes ago, it was not quite as one-sided as game 1 was, but now it's definitely looking like Wild Inferno is going to be running away with this one. We do see a bit of contesting attempt.
It's going to be close. Gear Chief's in there deep. Wild Inferno gets the Fire Giant away, and Spence goes around the side. Gear Chief is split. LuneyToons is split, pushing. So Dark Omen going to look to retreat and just survive. Gear Chief may be caught out. Crushing Wave. Water Spout. Not going to quite hit, but Hay is leading the way, and Wild Inferno's chances are looking good. They're going to go for the tier 2 in solo. LuneyToons on split push will find a tier 1 on duo side, but Wild Inferno has this game in the pocket currently.
They do, and pretty handily as well. I mean, last game it was pretty similar, almost seemed like a snowball. This game they definitely have to work for it, and they are working under the Phoenix. Spirit Ball doesn't land any damage. Wild Inferno, though, they draw out a lot of ultimates.
Wild Inferno falling low, and they got to back up quick. LuneyToons backed as well. Spirit Bomb not going to find anybody, and Voulg wants it. Voulg with the Solar Swing wants to get that landfall so bad, but they just don't have the movement speed to quite catch up. Wild Inferno should get away with this, but it was close, and that's a good sign for Dark Omen, showing they can actually take a fight. Granted, under their own Phoenix, yeah, but they were able to take one, and they could get Pyro off of this, so there's, unlike last game, there feels like there's a way back in.
It definitely does, and now, as you said, Pyromancer is going to fall pretty handily here to Dark Omen. That being said, there's still Fire Giant buff for, let's be safe, call it 3.5 minutes for Wild Inferno. In my mind, that's 3 minutes where Dark Omen really can't step over the midpoint in the map. They're going to try it anyway, though. Landfall falls in 2 Dharmic Pillars on the back end, though, completely separates Dark Omen.
Zoinked gets a kill on the Spent Spark, and Voulg's going to follow. Rampage for Hay, 901. And Wild Inferno may have found themselves back into the cushion. They're rolling right now. Dark Omen had an opening, and they couldn't stop it. Astral Barrage wants NeptuneSpartan, but one shot was too early, so they turn from LuneyToons, who falls very low. Hay dashes forward, finds Gear Chief. Goodbye, Gear Chief. And Wild Inferno is going to get another tier 2 down to just the Phoenixes for the defense. And while the way in looked clear a moment ago, it's getting foggier and foggier for Dark Omen. Just trying to get Poke out at this point. Damage on Hay 901's decent, but they got to get to him to get the kill, and Phoenix is going to fall before they can even try. LuneyToons gets knocked up, taking a lot of Poke. Wild Inferno will look to back up, but Zoinked hasn't gotten the memo quite yet. Sonic Boom in the back. Spence is looking for Hay. Made You Look hits, but doesn't get the kill. And Spence has to get away now after Made You Look did not get the kill. So Dark Omen, again, just cannot break through.
Very unfortunate for Dark Omen, but on the flip side now, Wild Inferno, Gear Chief's back up. But looking at the ultimates, I think, again, another pretty massive advantage for Wild Inferno. I don't think they utilized it as much as I would have liked them to on the last Phoenix. In my mind, Wild Inferno now have a lot of advantages going into whatever this next fight is going to be, but they need to make it happen fast. I'd love to see them taking the engagement before the Fire Giant comes up. They might be doing just that. They got a 5-on-3 here. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. They're looking for Voulg. It's a triple in the jungle. Massive play from Wild Inferno.
LuneyToons got deleted faster than I've ever seen a Chiron vanish. You know, it's LuneyToons picked the perfect skin because Chiron fell straight to hell with the amount of damage that was just put onto the poor Centaur, and Wild Inferno is just marching into the throne room. They've got 2 to contest with. They are healthy, but they can definitely do it. Almondbutter leads the way, gets NeptuneSpartan caught out, but there's not damage yet. Gear Chief goes in the back and is getting deleted by Hay. NeptuneSpartan gets a big kill on the Zoinked, but they're on the Titan, and they've got a Fire Minion wave. Dragons come out. Voulg's here too. Landfall's gonna bring HackAustin into the fountain. Triple kill for NeptuneSpartan. Dark Omen trying to pull something out of a hat, and they're making it work so far. LuneyToons is gonna fall down to Hay, but Hay's gonna fall down on the landing. Just a matter of who gets it. Gonna be Spence. It's a shutdown kill on Hay, and a lot of gold gonna be there. Spence trying to survive from Frostech now, and they're gonna do it. Delayed Quadra for Neptune, and a deicide for Dark Omen, completely out of nowhere.
So I think maybe if Zoinked didn't like ult under the fountain and then just like kill himself inside of it, probably just would have been game over right there for Wild Inferno. Zoinked having a little bit too much fun. in this game. Unfortunately, Dark Omen now in the driver's seat. Definitely some potential there. Wild Inferno still very far ahead. Definitely still going to be a tough fight for Dark Omen, but they're not done. They're not ready to give up just yet.
They definitely are not, as they do pick up that tier 1 in mid lane. I mean, tier 1 tower at this stage in the game feels like nothing, but I'd imagine mentally that's got to be a really big win for Dark Omen. They get something on the back end. Now, I do not know about this Fire Giant call. They have an E-set with an ult up. I think this is a mistake from Dark Omen. We'll see, though, as the fighting starts.
NeptuneSpartan very low. Crushing Wave was off the mark, but Dark Pillars is not. HackAustin cleans up NeptuneSpartan thanks to the help from the Ganesh. Now Gear Chief caught in the middle with Voulg, and HackAustin's got a double kill, and Spence and LuneyToons cannot get in there to do anything. Dark Omen had their opening back into the game, but they may have just thrown it away to the side. Wild Inferno is going to take the Fire Giant and look to create a deicide.
Deicide indeed, and now Fire Giant as well. I mean, Wild Inferno, I think I said it a couple minutes ago, wanted to see them take a fight. Definitely would like to see that if you're a Wild Inferno fan now. It's a 5-on-3, they're picking up the Runic Bomb just in case. And it's a nice little bit of insurance. You should be able to drop that on the Phoenix right as these characters are just kind of getting there. So it's a lot of damage you're really not accounting for. If I'm them, though, I wouldn't mess around at all, wait for Dark Omen to step up. If I'm Wild Inferno, I'm just walking straight into the Phoenix.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything stopping Wild Inferno here. Spence is going to try his best. Got members with it, but Spence already down to half health. Right side, Phoenix going to fall down to Hay. Gear Chief kind of walking in the middle of everybody. He gets crippled. It's taking a lot of damage. Now Silence, now knocked up. Somebody help Gear Chief. He just experienced every CC we've got in the game. And Wild Inferno deletes Spence. The Titan is half health. No matter how good the defense is from Dark Omen, I don't think they can save this, but they're sure going to try. Landfall brings in HackAustin. Dark Pillars come out. There's the Dragons. The damage is good so far. Frostech and HackAustin are low, but the Titan's down to 25% health. NeptuneSpartan kills Frostech. Can they do it again? No, they cannot. Wild Inferno takes the set 2-0 after a nail-biter at the end, but Dark Omen ultimately just could not hang on. We'll be right back on the desk to give you our final thoughts.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't.
Wild Inferno has taken this Divine Division set 2-0, and KingFsher, let's start with you. You pointed it out that Fire Giant call could have been the reason that Dark Omen threw Game 2 away and kept us from a 3-game set. So why don't you start us off and talk about what you saw?
I mean, I get it from Dark Omen, I really do. In most situations, I don't think it would be a bad call, but the fact that they have a couple Phoenixes just respawning, they don't have many towers down on the map, they're in a kind of stage where even if you do get that Fire Giant, even if you get all your members out alive, your own map is so kind of crippled that you really can't do anything with the play. Just a really big risk for not enough reward. That being said, I love seeing that they didn't get dissuaded by being behind. They're clearly still vocal in comms. They all looked very connected in most of the fights. Just a little bit of missing the mark when it really matters.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of improving that can be done for Dark Omen. I think this has been a great learning opportunity from them. I think just understanding your strengths and weaknesses, when the team is, coming into your Phoenix and you kill a considerable amount of them, not necessarily means you're winning then. You still need to understand that there's a reason that they were running down your Phoenixes, nearly killing your Titan, and that's just because, they're ahead of you, they're going to do more damage than you, and they're going to win the fights. And just kind of understanding that, I feel like there's a lot of issues with some of the backline damage dealers on Dark Omen. I think the frontliners Gear Chief actually looked really exceptional, despite the unfortunate circumstances. Voulg wasn't too bad either, and I'm not just saying that because he likes my tweets on Twitter.
Oh yes, you are.
Okay. All right.
We absolutely love being a little bit biased there, but I mean, I think when we look at both of these teams, even though it was kind of a snowball, for lack of better words, from Wild Inferno, I like what we saw throughout. The mechanics were there, the play calling in particular. A lot of teams, when they get so far ahead, they kind of just do whatever they want. They can get off track at times. For the most part, I think stayed really focused in their end goal and ended those games at a pretty reasonable time. Those are kind of some things you can see push to like 35 minutes, even though one team has a 10k gold lead at 25. So definitely like seeing the promptness and the wherewithal for them to get stuff done when it matters.
Yeah, they did everything they possibly could at the end there, but overall, this set for Dark Omen definitely leaves a lot to be looked at in their VOD reviews. And for Wild Inferno, definitely a commanding set. And after picking up 2 new players and seeing how they've worked out, this is a
Yeah,
nice spot to be in. Almond Butter went kind of crazy. So I think with that,
had to go for it though.
died to Gold Fury. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a biggest loser for almond butter come this Friday. But with that, we're gonna leave you here. Make sure to check out the Smite Draft League and get in the Discord. Stay up to date on all the newest games coming out, as we've got tons and tons more games where this came from. I've been Anthony Malum. I was joined by KingFsher, Cosmic Warrior, as well as NoobLet, who is running production, and we'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League.